Ciao. I think it's safe to say that the Italian week is divided into work days and the weekend. And for some reason, the work days are pagan, mythological, and Greco-Roman, whereas the weekend perfectly enters the Judaico-Christian tradition. And what do I mean by saying that? I'm glad you asked, because I have a little thing to say. We say in Latin, they used to call the day dies die, in the accusative diem. And also the light of the day, the diu, gave the Italian di. And in fact, to say have a good day, we still say in Italian buon di. But the important thing is that the di come as a kind of a suffix. Di, buon di, good day, comes as a suffix back in the di that we have at the end of every day of the week, at least the first five, the pagan one. Why do I say pagan? Okay, let's see. Lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, giovedì e venerdì. And that lunedì comes from lunam, and the M falls down. That is a typical thing that happens between Latin and Italian. Luna diem, luna die, the day of the moon. And Luna was a goddess, the goddess of the moon, later kind of absorbed in the cult of the goddess Diana, the goddess of hunting, but before was Luna, so that is the moon in Italian, Luna, the day of the moon, kind of like Monday, moon day, the day of the moon, just like in Italian. So pagan divinities, Luna and Diana. Martedì, Marte, die, comes from Marte, die. Mars, the god of war, right? So Martedì is a very belligerent day, and also is the same Marte, is the same god that gave his name to the months of March. So not just a day of the week that later became Italian, but also March, which is in Italian goes like Marzo, still keeping the root, the root. Mercoledì, Mercuri die, the day of the messengers, the messenger of the gods. So Mercurius, right? So very pagan. Giovedì, the supreme god, Jovis die, the day of Jove, the day of Zeus, what the Greek called Zeus, and the Roman appropriated and called Jove. Venerdì, Veneris die, the goddess of love. We have also, it's a very carnal, very, physical love, kind of love, not poetical, not necessarily spiritual, but very, very physical. In fact, we have the venereal diseases that come from Veneris, the goddess of the physical love. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of the week that coincidentally are the day in which we have to work, are and come from a very pagan, at least philological background, etymological background. But it's interesting to say that the Saturday and Sunday are completely different. They insert as Italian in the Jewish Christian tradition. How? Because the word Sabato and Domenica, that are the 2 days of the weekend, right, come from Sabbatum, Latin, and gave the Greek Sabbaton, and the philologists of Jewish and languages will forgive me, the Sabbaton or Shabbat, that is the derivation of Sabbato, which means stop working. In college, we have the sabbatical semester or year in which basically we work on research instead of working on teaching and other things. So basically the Shabbat is the day of rest. So we don't go to work. But this is important how to say in Latin and Greek, and come from Hebrew, right? The Hebrew word, the Jewish word. And Domenica, which is for the Christians, for us Christians, the day of real rest, comes from a word that is ecclesiastical Latin, so church Latin, Dominica Die, the day of the Dominus, the day of the Lord, the day of the Lord, right? And today, the Italian word for giorno, yes, we can say di, but we have another word, the most common word, which is giorno. And that comes from diurnum, tempus, the time of the day, but Italian comes from Latin for the most part, but many words not necessarily come directly from Latin. We have words that come from French, from Provençal, from Franco-Provençal, especially in poetry, and from other languages like English, German, etc., for different reasons. We will see a lot of history and history of Italian language. By the way, but the word giorno comes for sure for Latin, but there are also other theories that say that we implemented this word instead of day from the French, jour, which is very common, right? And not to mention the Provençal, which is southern France, an important southern French language, which is closer to Italy than Ile-de-France. We have giorno or giorno, and probably those two languages influenced the Italian, and so we say giorno instead of di or instead of day, right? So the di, and this is why we have 5 days that are basically pagan and mythological, and 2 days that are in the Judaico-Christian realm and domain. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you put a like and share, and you subscribe to my channel, and you become a coraggioso or coraggiosa, depending on your gender. Okay? Ciao!